Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today on the Divine Messages podcast. My name is Karina, and I am a psychic medium out of Calgary, Alberta. I have another lovely student of mine coming on today to share her journey with all of you. So, everyone, please help me welcome Lexi to the podcast. Lexi, how are you?
Hi, Karina. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited that I get to have quite a few students come on the podcast and share their stories because I think it's so important that we help others to understand maybe why they might be experiencing things and they just don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, happy to be here and share some of my experiences working with you.
All right, well, let's take everybody back in time to how we met.
I think it was 2019. One of my clients just kept coming back for tattoos and kept telling me stories about her experiences with you. And so I feel like I heard your name a few times and I was like, I gotta look into this lady. Like I've always been into like psychic readings and tarot and stuff and but never really like found anyone to do it for me. But I reached out to you for a reading and I feel like I was just like in this weird difficult time in my life where I was like plateauing in my career and didn't really know my purpose, and I guess I just like didn't like feel like I had that much recognition in my job and what I was doing, and I was just kind of lost. Um, so I called you for a reading, and I got a couple messages about like I was gonna be in. You saw me, you pictured me in a magazine, and you told me that I was gonna be acknowledged for my work, and just to keep like manifesting and believing in myself.
Yes,
Um,
that part I do
y-
remember.
yeah, so that gave me like, I don't know, like a bit of hope that I was like on the right path. Um, you also mentioned about my dad and how he would live and experience life through me and my brother and just like experience joy through us since he hadn't made the best choices in his life.
Wow.
And yeah, he was alive at the time. So this is like 5 years before my dad passed away.
Oh my gosh.
So I feel like you were saying the time in my life of 2024, because in 2024 Avenue magazine reached out to me and wanted to make an article about what I do for breast cancer survivors. I tattoo realistic nipple tattoos on them after they've gone through mastectomies, and yeah, that's what I was doing. And they reached out to me, made an article about me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and like about like a month later, my dad passed away.
A month after the article came out?
Yeah,
Okay, that's crazy. And
that's why I was thinking it was like you were like looking into like this era of my life.
wow. Do you know, I I definitely delete everybody's readings, but yours was one that I think we were just on the phone. I couldn't even see you, correct?
Yeah, we had never met before.
No, because I thought that it was a phone reading, and I remember saying to you, I'm like, I don't know, do you draw? Are you an artist or something? And it took me a bit, but I kept seeing your hands moving in such a beautiful way. And then I heard loud and clear, you will be featured in a magazine. And I remember thinking after I got off the phone with you, I was like, she's probably going to think I'm nuts, but I know what I saw and I was so crystal clear. And then I remember on Instagram, you sent me just the article where you were featured, and I went, oh my God, yes, that's what I was talking about. And you're such an incredible tattoo artist and artist. I mean, love your work so much, but I knew what I saw and I trusted it. And 2 years later, I believe it happened. And I think your guides were
Yeah.
definitely trying to prepare you for, yeah, your future and also to hopefully, have spent that time with your dad, even when they had mentioned about him not living in the way that he might have wanted. At least, do you feel that you got some time with him before he passed that was very precious?
Yeah, for sure. It was like the best thing that I could have asked for in that kind of situation.
Hmm.
every time I get a reading with you, my partner Louis' guides come in and they pass messages through us to him.
Do they? I don't remember that.
Yes. I can't remember what it was the first one, but yeah, it's like, yeah, every time I get a reading, there's something for him too.
And that's how these things work, right? If you become the messenger, spirit will take over and make that happen. And I know even actually I have lost track of how your journey started as a healer. Like I don't even remember any of that. I just know that you're a Reiki master and this is what you do. I cannot remember your the journey. So maybe you could tell everybody what happened and how you opened up to that world yourself.
So maybe like a year after our first reading, my hand started like it started to have problems, and it was like a work related repetitive strain, but like this painful lump formed in my right hand and thumb, and I couldn't work, and it was like a devastating time. So I was like, I felt desperate to call you for a reading. And this is just happening during COVID, and your podcast was like, you were consistently putting out episodes, and I was just listening to it so much, and I was just like, I need to talk to you. And I got another reading, and you drew some cards for me, and there was like hand cards, and I can't remember what the cards were, but the message was basically like, I'm a healer and I'm capable of healing myself, and if you had ever taught Reiki again, that it would happen. I guess you took a break from teaching for a bit. I had no idea what Reiki was, just something made me super interested in it. And I just started seeing like so many synchronicities in life and hearing messages and reconnecting to my intuitive side that I haven't felt since I was like a teenager.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like I don't know, like alcohol and substances and stuff, like totally blocked all that stuff from me, even like knowing what was going on. Or I felt like I was going through a spiritual awakening, like something was happening to me
Yeah.
that I couldn't explain.
Hmm. The alcohol and stuff, I didn't even know that you were struggling with that kind of lower vibrational stuff that was blocking you. I didn't know that.
Just like typical teenager stuff and like young 20s, like just out partying
Oh, I
lots
did
and
it
like
all.
just kind of, yeah, just disconnected.
Hmm. And then just
Um,
something changes in you, right?
Yeah, but then I was clear-headed for so long, and then you came into my life, and it all kind of like made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And how soon after you did your level one and two did you do your master's?
About a year apart in 2021, I took your Reiki 1 and 2 course, and then my hand started to feel a bit better, but I was still struggling with it for like another year.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, during this time, realized that I was a psychic medium too, and like started to help people and started to feel better in my body.
Hmm.
And then a year later, I took masters, and then it was almost overnight. Like my hand pain was gone. I was
Wow.
absolutely mind blown. Like I had just like healed myself
Isn't that the
by
best?
helping others.
Sometimes
Yeah.
those physical things happen to us as well because we may be blocking ourselves from the purpose. And these are little roadblocks along the way to veer you off the path. But once you stand strong and stay true to yourself and you follow through, it goes away, it heals. I love that.
Yeah, and like I loved where I worked and I loved what I was doing, but it's like the universe just threw this thing at me and like made me move,
Yeah, they said,
made me
okay, let's
completely
go.
change my path. Yeah, because I was in my comfort zone and I would have never like left that.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
don't you have like, I haven't been to your place. You used to live around the corner from me for quite a while, but don't you also have your Reiki room set up in your tattoo space as well?
Yeah, it's like a created like a healing environment and kind of like merged the two together, tattooing and sharing my Reiki with people. I don't like put it out there that I'm taking Reiki clients, it's almost like people just find me for it.
Yep.
Or like I'll do a reading for a tattoo client if they're already there and I'm hearing something.
hmm I think that's one of the reasons why I think you are so special. And I know that sounds like cheesy to say, but being a tattoo artist and putting permanent things onto people's bodies, that's a very strong energy that you are connecting with, right? And what a gift that is for people to come see you and get a tattoo by a Reiki master. So you know that what they're putting into you has the highest energy possible. I think that is the greatest gift that you could give to anyone else.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
It is. Now, I have another question for you. Were you not featured in another magazine recently?
Okay, a couple years after your first reading, I was like featured in this magazine, but it wasn't like a real magazine. It was just like somebody just kind of threw that together. But then, like a couple of years later, an actual published magazine reached out. So it kind of like happened twice.
Yeah, that was funny. I saw the post on Facebook and I went, and there it is. At least I know I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think people think, when they come to me and like future stuff hasn't happened yet, right? And I tell them this is what is coming, and they look at me, some people like, yeah, okay, Karina, I think you're nuts, but that's okay, and then it comes true and they will reach out later on and say, oh my God, this did happen. And I say, okay, I think thank goodness for me because then I don't feel so crazy. But I do
Yeah.
know what I see and I trust it. And I remember having that full visual. Again, the first time I ever talked to you, you're on the phone. I didn't even know what you looked like. And they showed it to me as clear as day, this open magazine with a feature. And I thought, okay, I'm going to tell you. And I'm so happy that it all happened and came true. And you're doing such incredible work, not just, again, doing tattoos, but also doing something so special for women that have really struggled with breast cancer. So that's
Yeah.
huge and special. And I know even after your dad passed, we have channeled him, and I know he's so proud of you. He really is.
No,
You
that's
have
something that he would say for sure.
I remember you came to pick me up. We went to one of the other students' events in Calgary, and I got into your car, and that's all I could feel was your dad. And then you turned to me and you're like, well, it's my dad's car. And I'm like, okay, that explains very clearly why I'm feeling him so strongly. And he was with us the whole night. I mean, he goes everywhere you go, but I could feel him that entire evening. And he was just so proud of you for who you are, what you're doing, and he's going to help you, as you know, right, to guide you through the rest of your life.
Yeah. And like when we were in the car ride, you were like, let's ask for a sign. Give us a sign. And literally 2 seconds later, you saw 666.
Yeah,
And that's like his number. Like he was born April 6th, 1966. And 666 was always his joke.
that is
So it's
awesome.
funny that he always shows up that way too.
Yeah, you ask and they do show up and they come. And then fast forward a couple of months and I did an event here in Calgary with the radio host Danae Meyer from Virgin Radio, and you came to that with your partner.
Yeah, I was surprised that I asked him if he wanted to go, but I also invited a girlfriend, like thinking Louis wouldn't want to go because it kind of freaks him out. But he was totally down to come. Like he didn't even hesitate. He's like, "Yeah, I'll come," and that surprised me.
Right.
But I think after like hearing a couple things that were really validating, like through the readings that you gave me over the years, like I think that was like already validation for him and gave him like a bit more faith to come.
That makes sense for sure. And I remember walking up the aisle and I just kept getting this accident. Like, my head was hurting so much. And there was a bunch of people trying to take it and say, yeah, I think that's me. And I'm like, no, 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 this doesn't feel right. Like, I was trying to describe it so accurately. And it took him a little bit to say anything. And I kept thinking, am I going crazy? But it would not go away. And I couldn't let it fit for anyone else. It just was like a puzzle piece that wasn't fitting. And finally he spoke up and said, that's me. You're talking about me. A little bit scared there to say anything.
Yeah, and earlier that day, I said out loud, I told my dad that I needed him to come and I needed him to bring Louis's guides too, because I needed Louis
Wow.
to believe in this.
No way. I didn't know you said
And
that
yeah,
out loud. That's funny.
yeah, I
But
said it out loud, and then yeah, I brought them. But
well,
I
he,
didn't ask my dad to come. I told him to come, and you were like, you told him to
oh, I said that. That's
come.
funny. Well, he obviously heard you. And it was funny because when I had looked over at Louis, he just kind of like made eye contact with me and then looked down. And then he kind of mumbled, I've been avoiding you for years. And the entire audience like just chuckled because they were like, oh my God, that's so honest. And they loved that. He's
But
avoiding me,
I
but it's
guess,
okay.
yeah, his grandparents came through, and
Yeah,
yeah, it was super personal for him.
it was. And there was, I'll never forget him. I was so drawn to his energy because I had seen him once in person in our little town at the restaurant, but that was it. Like I never talked to him or really knew anything about him. And so his guides and his family were very clear about what needed to be done and how things were to proceed. And I don't need to get into the entire reading, but at the very end of the event, I was on the stage and all the students came up and we took some photos and all of a sudden he's on the stage with me and I was like, "Oh, hi." And I think he asked me if he could give me a hug and I said, "Oh my God, of course." So he just looked at me and he said, "You have the kindest eyes." And then he gave me the biggest hug and I was like, "Wow." I could feel his soul, his energy in that moment and I just felt like his guides needed him to be there that night because life was going to change for him. I hope that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and he just has this like, I just feel we've all believed that he doesn't believe in himself enough,
Hmm.
and that was one of the messages, like believe in yourself and things are gonna work out, and this one thing that he was thinking about was gonna work out, and that things are gonna shift for him, and I think it was like a month or two later, and he is now like in between jobs and something's changing for him, but like he's not worried. He's trusting because he's like more able to have trust in all of this and like believes there's something bigger. And now we're just kind of like in between, like waiting for this shift.
That's amazing because it's
So
coming.
like instead of being scared, like we're excited about what's to come.
That's amazing. He's such a sweet guy. He's like very like shy and stuff, but he's such a sweet soul. And I think he just needed to hear that good things were going to start coming and happening for him because, we all lose faith and we don't always know the path ahead. And the validation that he got that night, I believe, was accurate enough for him to believe that, whoa, this is real. This is my family. And I think that's when he believed the message that things were going to shift and finally just be great
Yeah,
because they will be. I know that. I know I saw it that night. Even when he hugged me, I felt like a weight was pulled off his back. It was like a
yeah,
backpack of heaviness that he had been carrying around forever, just got taken off his back and he could walk out of that building with his head held high. It was like the weirdest thing that I saw and felt, but I need to tell you that because after I hugged him, I thought, oh my God, the backpack's gone. He let it go.
yeah. Like he's still okay.
Yeah.
He's not stressed.
Like, doesn't he feel lighter to you? Like he's not walking around with this burden, maybe, or this heaviness in his soul. He just looks lighter to me.
Yeah, and I feel like he's like manifesting better and just like in general happier.
Hmm. I love that. I think it's so important that when we do get the messages from the other side, that we really feel connected and hopeful for them helping us, maybe is the right way to say it.
Yeah.
Do you now feel that you're father is one of your guides and you can feel him so strongly because you are a psychic medium?
Yeah, I feel him all the time. Can call him in whenever I need him.
That's
And
pretty
like,
special.
yeah, it's comforting to like get the validation that you're asking for.
So I know that you've been a Reiki master for a little while now, but has it ever popped into your head to teach?
I think someday.
Okay, that's good
Yeah.
because that came out of nowhere just now. I don't know. I just heard it from your guides to ask you because that's where they're going to take you. Is I think still a good 3 to 5 years, but something's going to happen where they're going to call you into service that way to be a teacher. So don't be surprised. I said
Just a
never.
little bit more out of my comfort zone.
No,
Said maybe when I'm like 40,
how old are you now?
34.
Okay. All right. So close,
I feel
close.
like I need more life experience, Like
And that's going to
it was
happen.
weird, it was weird being a medium and like not having lost anyone and not knowing what that feels like to have someone on the other side looking out for you.
Ooh, that's a
I
good
feel like
point.
now that really helps me like understand where people are coming from and yeah, it just helps me understand a bit more.
And it also probably helps you understand how important this work is. And if you have that ability to give information and validation to someone else from their past loved one, you see how important it is and how magical and wonderful at the same time. How can we not do this work, right?
Yeah, and I'm always so like worried about how the client is gonna like think about this, but it always like turns into a good thing and like a message like the message just it turns into a positive thing.
Always,
Like I'm
yeah.
always like scared that they're gonna be like, what are you talking about? But
Like me in the article, right? Like being featured.
yeah.
Because, you deliver the message that you hear, and it comes down to trust for us as the mediums to be able to deliver and trust what we're getting, right? And again, in the beginning, I might have been a bit leery about telling someone that they were going to be featured in a magazine, but I just trusted it on every possible level. I saw it so clearly, and I just say what I get at all times. And so I think that just gets easier as you go forward. And in the next 3 to 5 years, as you have that experience, that's where they'll end up um, needing you to teach someday. So never say never. Right? Because I said never, really. I was asked to teach multiple times, and I was like, nope, not doing that. No, thank you. And here I am, and I love it. I wouldn't change it. But I think a lot of us don't even know the path. I would never think that, oh, this is how it works, and I can, connect with the other side, and I'm going to be a medium. Like, that's not what we say. It just unfolds organically in front of us. Like the path just opens up, and everything gets put together like a puzzle.
Yeah, and like if it's meant to happen, like things are gonna make it happen. Like
Yes.
I did not want to do this at the start. I was pretty freaked out, honestly.
Were you? I remember you coming to me at one point saying, "Oh my God, Karina, all this stuff is happening in the new house we moved into." I'm like, "You're fine. You got this. You could clear it." Do you
Oh
remember that?
yeah. Yeah, we bought a house and found out that the owner had passed away in the house and yeah, he was lingering for a while. Like I could see him in the corner of my eye
Yeah.
and he would get angry if the house was like any sort of untidy.
And then I think you messaged me and you're like, "What do I do? All this stuff is happening." And I could hear that you were freaked out, and you're a pretty tough cookie. So I was like, "Really? You're scared? Like, you're fine. You got this." And I think Spirit guided you, or we told you what you could do to clear it, and then you did. You did the work.
Yeah, yeah, it's all good now.
Yeah, because you have a beautiful space that you work out of. I've seen all the photos online, and it just has good energy. So you've done the work. Sometimes I think people are so afraid and their fears get the best of them. But when you just, I guess, are strong and you feel that nothing can really not bother you, but hurt you, I suppose, and you just fight back, then it's fine.
Yeah, like you taught me how to like protect myself and my space and my house, and it worked.
And put good energy in, right? Because especially being a Reiki master, we're lucky that we do have these amazing symbols. They're Japanese kanji characters and symbols that we use that are protective and clearing at the same time. So at least you know that you have all of that within you. And that's why I keep getting that someday you're going to teach that. People are going to need to know how to do what you've experienced and what you've done, and you'll give back.
Oh my God, I'm excited to hear
Right? So now you believe me because of the magazine. You're like, okay, this is coming
that.
because it's going
Yeah,
to happen, right?
yeah,
You just tell me the truth. Did you think I was crazy that first reading when I said you were going to be featured? And you're like, oh, that's great.
yeah, because like nothing had happened yet, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll never forget the message on Instagram. It was a photo of it. I was like, and there it is. Yep. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Well, I love that. I'm so happy that the future stuff that you will get to do and having your dad by your side as one of your guides, helping you for the rest of your life. And he's very loud, by the way. So he will make his presence
he
even more so known when you start teaching.
is super loud.
Was he in real life?
Oh yeah.
Was he? Okay, because I just heard him now and I was like, boy, he's a loud presence. Like when he talks, he's got this amplified voice when he gets excited about something, and it's yeah, it was funny. I just heard
Yeah.
him loud and clear. So he's definitely here with us
Oh,
today. So I know you know that, but it's always reassuring, right, to hear it from someone else,
yeah.
right?
So much funner to believe and yeah,
It is. I
you
mean,
can
can you imagine how some people go through life really grieving their loved one and not knowing that they're very much alive in another realm? I think it's sad that people don't know what a shame. That's why I keep doing these episodes to help everybody understand that they do exist, they are there, and if we just open up our minds and our hearts to the other side, really they will show up and prove their existence, and we just don't end up feeling so alone, right?
yeah, like ask for the signs. You're gonna get them. You just have to keep your eyes open
That's a very, very good point.
and ask for specific signs.
Yes, right? Like, show me, I don't know, show me a butterfly, show me a bird, like a blue jay or whatever it is. You can ask, but you have to let go. You can't just say it and then demand it and like be angry that it's not showing up. You have to completely give it away. Like, let go of the control of how, when, why, and let them do their magic.
Hmm.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, I was actually tattooing someone the other day and I could smell my dad the whole time, the whole
That's the
tattoo. And then we finished the
best.
tattoo and his girlfriend was like, "You just lost someone, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, just lost my dad and I could smell him that whole tattoo."
Uh-huh.
And he was wearing the only cologne that my dad ever wore.
No.
And you can't buy it in the store, you have to buy it online.
Are you serious? You
Yeah.
can't make this stuff up. Come
But
on.
for like a whole year, I'm like searching for the smell of my dad. Like I could smell him.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then that happened. It's super
What is the
weird.
cologne?
Kenneth Cole reaction?
Okay. Oh my. And that's when you know, right? Like, and for them to say you've lost someone, it's like, okay, the energy changes in a room and they do show up in that way. And if you're open to it as you and I are, we're very open to it. We're mediums, but it's easier for them to communicate. And it's just, I don't know. I can't really explain how wonderful I think this is. It just gives me so much peace knowing that even when I die, that I'm not just going to be completely gone, I get to be a guide from the other side for my kids, my loved ones, because I'm going to be doing that for sure, especially with my children and maybe their kids. I will be that guide whispering in their ear loud and clear so that they actually hear it, and hopefully they'll, well, they are open to what I do, so I think it'll be easier for them to accept my guidance from the other side someday. Hopefully not for a very long time, but um, that's how this works, right? And you and I need to go out and the other students and to just help people understand how real this is. I know there's so many skeptical people out there, and I get that. I'm skeptical in so many ways of certain psychics and mediums and things like that. But when you know that it's real validation that is given and you can't deny it, that's when I find that it's just magical.
So yeah, thank you for teaching me all that I know about it.
Well, thank you for being a student and trusting me because it does take a lot of, trust, and it is a mutual relationship. A relationship between a Reiki master and student is very sacred. And I'm just so blessed and honored that so many people put their trust in me to be their teacher and to guide them through something that seems quite scary. And when they realize it's
Yeah,
not, then it's so comforting. That's why I want you all to go out and teach it because it's the domino effect. I mention this in almost all my episodes. It's the domino effect. If I help you, you go help 100 people, and it just keeps going and going. And that's what our purpose is, right? Is to teach, to share, to spread love. The world needs that right now.
yeah,
So, Lexi, I really want to thank you for coming on here today and being so open, sharing your story, and allowing us to talk about your dad, because I know it hasn't been that long, but I appreciate you being able to share with everybody about all of it.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm super grateful to have met you and known you on this journey.
I'm grateful too. And I want to thank you all so much for joining both of us today on the Divine Messages podcast. If you would like to book a reading with me, I can be reached at www.divinemessages.ca or on Instagram at Divine Messages 333 or at the Divine Messages podcast. Please bear in mind that the perspectives and opinions represented in this podcast are based solely on the Divine Messages interpretations. We can in no way be held responsible for the actions of our followers.